Good Tuesday afternoon to you. Roger Hill of Wuthering Heights. This weather video is driven by 802cars.com. They represent 802 Toyota, Twin City Subaru, and 802 Honda. They all are located off of Exit 7 on Interstate 89. We have a frontal boundary. It's very evident here. It stretches all the way from south of New Orleans in Louisiana, all the way up to northwest of Chicoutimi up in Quebec. This is working into the St. Lawrence River Valley, and we're starting to see some development of some thunderstorms. Dew point temperatures look like this, as we're basically seeing 60s and some of them close to 70 degrees in some locations. So mighty moist out there, and with a lot of sunshine. We're getting a lot of instability right now. Capes are starting to rise pretty quickly, and this is what it looks like right now with our convective available potential energy, and that is, of course, lifting for thunderstorms. And taking a look at the current temperatures across the region, this is how it looks here. So pretty warm out ahead of this frontal system. It's cooled off considerably behind it. But again, back to dew point temperatures, you can see that there's still some lingering moisture here with those dew points hanging a little bit into the 60s. Where does it dry out? This is very dry conditions. This is what's going to be working in. Probably not until we get into probably Wednesday night and more like Thursday. We'll start to affect much cooler and drier conditions. Let's take a look at the 6-hourly incremental models from the European. Okay, this is the European model, and on the left-hand side is the most recent computer model run, and this is about 12 hours ago, so this is yesterday afternoon's. This is the overnight model run presented this morning. So what you can see here, this is valid about 2 o'clock this afternoon on a Tuesday. And taking a look again, you can see that frontal system that stretches all the way from Louisiana into southeastern Quebec. And some storms are already developing in the vicinity of the Champlain Valley. A couple isolated thunderstorm cells and lightning strikes being shown here. And it's barely just noon. So this is going to be taking a track this afternoon. You can see just a little bit of precipitation, but not a whole lot gets further off to the south and east than the Northern Green Mountains, Champlain Valley region. But a little bit later on tonight, we're going to see some of that try to make a run into the evening hours a little bit further north. And then eventually overnight, this is from 2 o'clock through about 8 o'clock in the morning on Wednesday. And then another flare-up with basically two different bands or strands of showers and thunderstorms, mostly up in the St. Lawrence River Valley. I think the main action, however, is going to be a little bit more southeasterly centered on Vermont and then moving into southern New England. I think that's going to be the worst activity is going to be. But you can see some potential for some heavy showers and storms continuing into the evening hours on Wednesday. And then after that, that cooler, drier air with that area of higher pressure over the Great Lakes, presenting dry weather. You can see that that pushes on in. And we're looking at some pretty fine weather Thursday, Friday, and into the day on Saturday as well. The caveat is that storm system looks like it's going to try to drop a frontal boundary somewhere across the Great Lakes and connect up to a weak area of low pressure, and that is going to sag further to the south. But it looks like it does wash out by the time it gets into Saturday night. So Sunday, we'll probably see a little bit of a flare-up there from leftovers, and then maybe some drier weather developing for Monday and into Tuesday of next week. Looking at precipitable water, and this is a really good way to see some of the waves of moisture working on in. First of all, this is above normal standard deviation, below normal standard deviation, so this is very dry, this is wet. And this is where dew points and moisture kind of pulls up ahead of a frontal boundary, and indeed that's what we have going on here. So this is the valid time on Tuesday. This is the latest model run. This is 12 hours old. You can kind of compare notes to see what the changes might have been. So taking a look at that, we're going to go to 18Z. That's 2 o'clock this afternoon. You can see that higher dew point, higher precipitable water, standard deviations of around 1, almost 2, try to work their way into Vermont. And not terribly extraordinary here as it moves on through. It's about 1 to 2 standard deviations. And it's mostly to the night tonight, and then into the day on Wednesday it begins to exit out of the region. And then we have much more relief begin to work in with those darker blue colors there, and that illustrates a lot less moisture. So things dry out. We get a lot less humidity on Thursday. That'll set up Friday, Saturday as well into, well, I should say Thursday, Friday, and maybe a little bit into Sunday. But there is a little minor flare-up of showers and thunderstorms, mostly just showers, I think, on Sunday. You can see it right here, basically in the white. And then a little secondary shot of drier conditions begins to work on in. The other thing we want to show you here is a little bit in the longer range. This could be our first tropical cyclone that is of any kind of valid importance coming from the Cabo Verde area. And you can see this is going a long ways here. This is valid next Wednesday, the 7th of August. It could be out over in the vicinity of, this would be in the northern Windward Islands, just passing in the vicinity of Puerto Rico. GFS ensemble centered on Montpelier, Vermont. You can see here is the 31st. This is 0Z, so this is through tonight roughly. This is during the day Tuesday, and this is overnight. It's like a little bit of a decrease, and then we'll start off in the morning and then a little bit more in the way of precipitation. Now, this is a 3-hour QPF. It looks like then we get into that dry period and a little bit of business as we get maybe later into the weekend. Looking at the total QPF, nothing really fancy, I would say, just 0.6 of an inch. The black line represents about the mean. The latest model run is the blue line, so it's even trending a little bit less. And in terms of 2-meter temperatures, you can see the maximum temperature with the heat indices is really today, above 85 degrees. And then we cool down a little bit, more like 80 according to the European, and then kind of stay in this mode, maybe just gradually turn the corner and cool off just a little bit. Now I'm going to overlay, or not overlay, but show you the dew point, 2-meter dew point temperatures. So very humid conditions here, between 60 and 65, occasionally making a run towards 70. This is going to be probably tomorrow, and then a pretty good fall off as a cold front. You can see those dew point temperatures really do make a pretty good slide down into the 40s according to the GFS ensemble, and then make a slow rise toward the weekend. And despite all of that, we have deficits in terms of precipitation. That's going to continue today. So in Vermont, we're looking at basically a 1/2 inch to a 1/4 of an inch, somewhere in that vicinity. This is for the next 7 days of total rainfall through Tuesday, the 30th of July. Temperatures are weighted accordingly for the next 5 days will be near normal, and those include the 2 days that cool us off, so that's why it's closer to normal. And then beyond that point, we get into about 3 degrees of temperatures above normal for this time of year. A couple areas of disturbed weather, Cape Verde, Cabo Verde Islands. A little to the south, we have a disturbance that's moved as an easterly wave, come off the coast of Africa, and this is forecast to a 20% chance of becoming a cyclone east of the outer Windward Islands. And then one system here south of, as I saw earlier, actually it's this system that we're going to see track. This looks like another area of disturbed weather that's going to try to become situated east of Florida and the Bahamas. Right now it looks like this is not as important at this point. That's it from here. Roger Hill of Wuthering Heights, and currently a little thunderstorm activity off to the north and west. A couple isolated cells exiting the Connecticut River Valley. Roger Hill, Wuthering Heights. Thanks for watching.